It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome into the Irish 365 podcast, episode 28. That's right. We just went to New York. We just beat down the Army. What a trip, right?
Yeah, a great trip.
I mean, what an experience.
See the city, feel the vibe.
Yep. Yankee Stadium. I mean, we're going to get into it all right here, right now. So let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's get into the trip.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. I mean, travel for us was leaving from Detroit, so we had to get up early, about 7-ish, hit the road, pick up Maddie, get up to the Detroit airport, catch our flight, 10:30, 10:45-ish.
Yeah, I think so. 10
was the flight. It was an hour and 30 minutes in the air.
Yeah, definitely around there. Wasn't as bad. Like, flew to the West Coast a few times, never flew to the East Coast, and I was just, I don't know. Well, I mean, we're in the Midwest, so it's kind of like, the East Coast was much quicker.
We're much closer than you think, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That was a quick flight.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we talked about it. You can drive from here to there in 10 hours.
Yeah.
So that's like driving to Atlanta. We just don't normally think about driving to New York. We don't go to the East Coast very often. So
yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was cool. The flight was good with a little bit of turbulence.
Yeah, windy.
A little bit of turbulence. And then the turbulence continued onto the ground for some reason.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever, and I've done a lot of travel, I don't think I've ever experienced a plane shaking that much while sitting on the tarmac while being unloaded.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Sitting still.
I don't know.
No, we weren't still, apparently, but
yeah,
the plane's wheels were not moving.
Right.
I thought maybe we had like some elephants from Ringling Brothers Circus or something they were unloading. It was Jocelyn quite a bit. So
yeah, definitely was feeling it. We were at the back of the plane, so we were one of some of the last people to get off, and it was like, I've never been like, we've been on some long flights before. I've never been like, oh my gosh, I got to get off this plane. But like, that was when I was like,
I think Maddie got motion sickness from sitting on the ground.
Oh yeah,
and I mean from sitting on the ground.
Yeah, Maddie's the person that rides as a late guide, rides on a boat. Like, she's used to moving. Like, it's not, and I'm just saying, like, she was definitely feeling it. So I mean, I'm a little better at that kind of stuff, but I was definitely still feeling it. It was definitely much better situation once we got off the plane and we're on solid ground.
Good to be off the plane.
Yeah.
And get into the airport there at LaGuardia, which I think was kind of interesting. It was an older dated building.
Definitely was not what I was expecting when we're told I was flying into New York City, right? Airport. Like, it wasn't JFK or any means, but like, I was like, oh, LaGuardia. I mean, I know it's in New York. I know it's one of the main ones. It's like, yeah, the airline we were flying, it was just like, just their building.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Like,
it was.
It was a cool building, but it was
just older.
It was like dated.
And what was there? 2 baggage claims. Like, you walk through the door and there's like, I was like, we're in freaking New York and there's 2 baggage claims.
Even Fort Wayne International has more than 2 baggage claims.
Yeah. But then I realized, like, oh no, everyone else is like, got their own building. But there's not like, not that I saw, there's not like a tram between them. Like, I don't know if like you're between different places, you got to go to a whole different building, check in. I don't know how big the other buildings are. Like,
but probably if you were flying in on one of the bigger airlines, because we were on the discount airline.
Yeah.
You're on one of the bigger airlines, you might have not had, you would have had a connecting flight. And that's not an airline that has connecting flights to New York. So
true.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was good. It was interesting. It was good, but the travel wasn't bad getting there. Timing was good. I don't know about the trip itself. The flight was good with the turbulence they couldn't do anything about.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was windy getting into New York, so
the ground shake was a little something different, but hey, we survived that.
Yep.
Caught our ride share. Everything worked out good there. They showed up on time where they were supposed to be. Then got a nice tour of the city as we drove down to the hotel. So we basically drove the east side, the FDR. A little disappointed because I thought we were going to go through Brooklyn and cross the Brooklyn Bridge, but he went a different direction.
Yeah.
I'll trust him as the expert who lives in the city that maybe that was a more efficient route, but got us to our hotel, which was cool.
Yep.
Our hotel was in Manhattan, downtown area, a couple blocks south of the One World Trade Center.
Yep.
Just a few blocks north and east of Battery Park. So, You know, it wasn't close to anything too crazy as far as places we wanted to go, but it was close enough. And we got early check-in at the hotel, so that was sweet.
Definitely.
No complaints there whatsoever.
No.
And we got a great tip for lunch.
Yeah.
From the front desk.
I was gonna say you asked them, and she was like, "Well, some people like, I don't remember what she was saying, Joe's whatever over there, but some people don't like it. Some people like this."
Yeah.
Well, the most important part she said was,
"Where do you go?"
Yeah. She said, "Well, when we order, we get Siennas."
Yes.
And we're like, "Well, if that's where you go, like you're the
What we
local,
want.
yeah, that's."
If this is your go-to spot,
Yeah, and like this is the hotel orders, like
this is my go-to spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You've talked me into this with my hey, if that's what you eat, it's what I'll try.
Exactly. So as the local, that's where we went. I mean, we were dealing with the local.
And it was out the back door of the hotel, down a block, over through an alley-ish kind of road.
Yeah,
and it was, dare I say, delicious.
It was fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was a really good. It's what you expected from an authentic New York slice.
Oh yeah,
it had that New York slice style, taste, flavor. So yeah, delicious lunch. Great start to the trip when you had a good lunch when you get to your destination.
And shout out to Sienna's because I mean it was like a 2-for-1. I mean on the other side of it, they had like you couldn't walk between them, but you had to walk outside. But like there was a gap in the wall so you could see it. Had delicious like bakery on the
Sienna's
side.
Bakery.
Yes.
Yeah, pizzeria on one side, bakery on the other, and
that was a nice combo.
Yeah, and so we got some New York style cheesecake. We saved it for after the game. I think all of us did. I think Caden had a bite before.
Caden had a little pregame snack.
Yeah, but we saved it for after the game, so that was a real nice late night snack, some New York style cheesecake.
And I was torn because they had a nice looking slice of red velvet cake.
Yeah,
and I thought about the red velvet cake. I thought about sticking it in my pocket. Like that third, fourth quarter red velvet slice has been doing really well for me.
Yep.
But I refrained and I said, I'm going to stay tradition to New York. I got to have the New York slice of cheesecake.
Yeah, didn't disappoint either.
And actually, it was a little tiny, small cheesecake. It was like 2-inch.
Yeah.
It was a whole cheesecake.
Yeah,
it wasn't just a slice.
Felt like you're eating a whole cheesecake right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good.
It was delicious.
I mean, that was a solid start. So we made that work, got changed, went back to the hotel, got changed, caught a ride share, made our way down to the Rockefeller Center.
Yeah.
And that was cool. 35, 40-minute ride to go 5-6 miles?
Yeah. Definitely got some good time to rest, seeing the sights. And
the driving got a little sus. Christy was a little nervous.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I could not drive in New York City, and he was squeezing through areas that I didn't think we were going to squeeze through, but he made it.
Yeah, and
we're here to tell about it.
And we were in a large SUV. We weren't in a...
Right, there's 5 of us.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, and he picked us up in a Suburban. It wasn't a little vehicle. And he was doing things. He was making work of it. Not his first time driving the city.
No, I don't think. I think he's been experienced. I think he's done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did notice the side of the SUV had some door dings and different scratches down the side of it.
Yeah.
So he's learned his lesson, maybe.
Live and learn.
Or he's learning as he goes. I don't know which, but yeah. So we got down to Rockefeller Center, which was very cool. It was you and Caden and Maddie's first time being to New York.
Yeah.
And Christy and I were down there. I don't think we actually hit Rockefeller Center when we went down there for some reason. I know
we didn't.
We did a show. We were. I don't know why we didn't go, but we just didn't. Didn't make the effort, I guess. But
yeah.
Rockefeller Center was.
But you weren't there during the Christmas season, I think.
No, not during the Christmas season,
or when it's more known. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see Rockefeller Center in tons of Christmas movies and TV shows and.
Maddie and I were definitely looking forward to seeing that Christmas tree, and Maddie had told a story on the way there about this particular tree, and we were a little disappointed because they're still decorating the tree, so it had a lot of scaffolding around it, and we couldn't really see it all that well.
It was tall, though.
It was tall.
Very.
But I got to put all the lights up. I understand why it takes so long to decorate, huh?
Yeah.
Not just throwing those up in the night.
Right.
Yeah, that's more than an afternoon.
Yeah, so... The thing that surprised me the most, though, I know we talked about this before, but was like that ice rink was not not as big as I was thinking.
The camera can be deceiving, can't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it wasn't tiny by any means, but like, and now thinking back on it, like we're in the middle of New York City.
Yeah,
like there's not like a bunch of land like for an ice rink.
But they were going to have the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers get together.
I mean, I'm not sure the junior hockey teams can play on that thing, but
yeah, it's smaller than you expected.
Yeah, definitely. So that just cracked me up because I don't know why I was expecting it to be. Oh wow, that's a bit but I think about it. We're in downtown New York City. Like that ice rink probably, the land for that probably is a couple $1 million right there.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's not low rent district by any means. So.
No, exactly. So it makes sense. It's not humongous, but yeah, that's definitely like from the TV shows and stuff I've seen it on pictures. It's just I always thought it was so much bigger.
And I think the ice rink's just temporary. I don't think it's normally there. I think they just drop it in that mall area.
Yeah,
like at Rockefeller Center, they just drop it in seasonal.
Yeah,
it's just it's the space they've got, and they make it work.
I'm sure they make plenty of money off it.
Yeah, it's not hurting anybody.
It was definitely busy when we were by there.
Yeah. So I mean, but very cool area.
Yep.
I mean, and I think we talk about this a little bit. When you get into New York, it's it's a harsh city, I think, to some degrees. It's just this concrete jungle. It's not warm and welcoming. It's not Midwesty.
Yeah.
But yet it is kind of like there's an energy to it. And there's kind of this you belong here, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, one thing I noticed a few weeks back though, when we were in New Jersey, and I definitely noticed again here in New York, like how patriotic. Like there were so many freaking American flags absolutely everywhere in the city. In New Jersey, I was seeing them everywhere, like construction companies hanging them up, like on the side of the road doing projects, and like houses everywhere had them. And felt the same thing in New York City. Obviously, Yankee Stadium's at the top of it's lined with them. It was just like definitely a very patriotic area of the country. So I thought that was cool. Not that I wasn't expecting that, but it was just more than I was expecting too, though.
Yeah, you didn't expect to be, like anti-American, but you didn't expect it to be like so prevalent in the big city.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you go to Indianapolis or Chicago and you don't see that.
No, not
to that level.
Exactly.
And New York, and again, you go back to the 9/11 event, and so that city's got a very close connection to their patriotism, and it's lasted.
Oh yeah.
So very cool though. But yeah, I thought New York was like it had a good energy, man. It just a good energy that day.
Yeah.
All the way around Rockefeller Center, people getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
That Christmas vibe was there.
Yeah. We walked to Times Square right after.
Then we walked from there down to Times Square.
All up Caden's alley.
Yes.
Like that's his bread and butter. Like all the screens, all the characters, all the
sensory overload.
Oh my gosh.
He was loving it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And there is a vibe and an energy out of Times Square for sure.
Oh yeah.
And you either Caden and you love it, or you're Carter and you're like, all right.
After 10 minutes, I'm like, I need to get out of here. There's too many people in this place.
Forget about it.
Yeah, get me out of here. Like, don't get me wrong. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, after a little bit, I was like, we got our pictures. We looked around. We walked around. Caden wanted to start watching some street performance, and I was like, I'm getting pushed in the back. I'm getting like people trying to pass me. I'm like, okay, let's get a block or two away from here. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think it's a cool vibe. I wouldn't want to live in New York, but I don't mind visiting.
No.
It's definitely a cool place to visit.
Yeah. So yeah, from there we caught another ride share.
Eventually, right?
Yeah, and that was a little more tricky.
Yeah.
And so didn't have originally I had pre-reserved ride share to get us from Times Square to Yankee Stadium. And then I canceled it so I could give us some flexibility so we didn't have to be rigid on a time and a place.
Yeah.
And that worked out well because we actually took off earlier than what I originally planned. But if you know anything about rideshare services, the price of the rideshare services fluctuates up and down depending on how busy they are. So the original ride I booked was there, and then it canceled, and then it got someone else, and then they were struggling to get to us. So I canceled that. We walked a few more blocks and picked up a second ride share, and we made it work. But it was just like, what'll happen in the big city, especially, is you have a ride share set up, and if the prices start fluctuating up and they can't get to you quick, they'll drop you, because if they can pick somebody else up for $30 more,
right by them,
why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Right.
So those guys and gals are paying attention, and hey, they're entrepreneurs. I don't hate them for it.
Yeah.
It just can become a little tricky to navigate, a little frustrating if you let it get to you.
Yeah.
But if you know the game, you know the game.
Exactly.
So anyway, we got there, and that ride wasn't too bad, but
that one was a long one.
He didn't take the most efficient route.
I don't think so either.
And
because what we were looking at, it was literally like where we had to make a right and then just straight shot.
Because now he was supposed to be an Uber XL to seat 6.
Yeah.
And there was 5 of us, and I had to sit in the front seat with him.
Yeah.
So the only way we were riding 6 is if he rode with us.
Yeah.
Because he had captain seats in the back, and then he had just basically seats or bench in the third row for 2. And as we're driving through, it had him. There was a road where he was supposed to turn right, go toward Yankee Stadium, and he didn't. He went left.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, and this isn't a New York taxi where I'm paying by the mile. I mean,
prepaid the Uber.
This is prepaid. The price is fixed.
So he must know a faster way.
So I'm like, okay, he knows a faster way.
Yeah.
And then he went that other direction, and then he got rerouted back, and we ended up going on the same road we're coming in on, which was crazy busy.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, guy, you didn't save us any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Uber tip is not going to be very good.
Yeah.
Your Uber tip's going to be to study the map.
Yeah.
Use some sort of GPS service that tells you the traffic or something. Yeah. But anyway, so that was kind of crazy. And we were coming in. It was cool. I mean, we came through Harlem and we got to 4 of the 5 boroughs in New York City. We didn't make it to Staten Island, but we got to 4 of the 5 boroughs. So that was kind of cool. I think we got to see a good portion of New York City.
Yeah.
For our time there. But as we were coming in, then he was trying to talk us into getting out of the car, I don't know, half mile ahead of time. Yeah. And I'm like, let's just gotta cross this bridge and we'll see. Because I'm like, one, we get out of this car and we start walking across this bridge with the wind, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah. And we paid for this.
And we paid for this. I'm gonna get closer than this.
And I was on Google Maps and looking at the walk distance versus the drive distance, and our walk distance would have still been longer even in all the traffic we were in.
Yeah. So it's like, no, we're not hopping out at this point.
And the thing was, it seemed like he didn't have any options. Like he had to go straight too. Like it wasn't going to save him time
to go.
Right.
Yeah.
He couldn't turn off anywhere.
Yeah. So then we got across the bridge. You can see Yankee Stadium in front of us, and I'm doing the same thing Christy's doing. I'm looking at it, and at some point it said 6 minutes of driving, and I saw 3 minutes of walking. I'm like, okay, now we're getting out. Now it's worth my time. I can walk the 3 minutes to save 3 minutes, which I'm glad we did because every minute counted.
Oh my God.
Even though we were at the game
6 o'clock,
an hour early.
Yeah.
6 o'clock for the 7 o'clock kick, which ended up being 7:15.
Yeah. But I don't know if anybody listening has seen this or paid attention to social media. There's been some stuff out there.
Yeah, we had one follower that was reaching out to me, and he told me before the game he was going to be there. And he messaged me after the game. He was like, "Oh, that was a great time." And he had the exact same experience. I had a friend that was at the game, had the exact same experience. This was just horrendous.
It was terrible.
It was an hour plus for a lot of people to get into the stadium.
We were 53 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, and we
jumped a fence.
We jumped some fence.
Are we allowed to say this on? I'm just kidding. I think they're coming after us, but
yeah, I mean, we jumped some fence turnstiles. So the huge lines packed. I mean, it was sold out.
Yeah,
sold out event.
Everyone knew it was sold out.
6 gates were open.
Yep.
Of all these people, so you're trying to get. I don't know what's Yankee Stadium hold like.
60, 50,
50. I don't know, 50 probably. But
and then these 6 gates, they were single entrances, not like they had 6 or 10 lines open at each of them.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Notre Dame Stadium, there are 5 gates. But of those 5 gates, there are 10 to 15 metal detectors at every gate.
Yep.
There was one.
Yankees 46.
46,000. And
once again, an hour before kickoff, somebody got there.
6 gates. Only 6 gates open. And they had more ability to open up more. And then there was one metal detector at each gate.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Yeah, it was. They were way underprepared. Which they just hosted a World Series, 2 weeks ago?
Beginning of the month, I think.
I mean, we made friends in line.
Yeah.
And you were talking to somebody, and they were talking about being at the World Series just weeks earlier. Right?
Yeah. They said one game had this problem, but it wasn't this bad. There was hectic getting in, but they had all the gates open. There was a guy that I was talking to that a Notre Dame fan was like, "Yeah, I come to games on a Tuesday at noon, and all these gates are open, but why? They don't have them open now. There's 50 people at these games, and there's more gates open than there are right now." He's like, "I've never seen this." He's like, "I mean, there's been slower 15, 20 minutes, but it's New York. It's a big game. It's sold out. That's what it is." But it's he's like, "That was ridiculous. You could literally see the other gates, and they're closed." And then we eventually do get into the stadium after going through hectic. People are pushing. People are getting mad because obviously the closer you get to game time. Everyone that was there when we were you get to a game at 6 o'clock. You're getting in there for the pregame activities. You're not just getting there for the game, right?
You're seeing the team warm up. You're seeing whatever's going on. Yeah.
Right. You're checking out the venue. You're checking out the band before the game. It's Notre Dame. A lot of people are there to see the band. They get the whole, it's a Notre Dame home game.
Yeah.
The Shamrock Series.
You're there for the experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe Army did something for the game too. I wouldn't be surprised if the cadets were on the field. I don't know. I didn't see any of that stuff. But I know when we played Navy, they were. So it's our home game, so I don't know how that works. But, like, there's a lot of people there to see, like, the pregame activity. And there was a lot of shoving, a lot of movement, a lot of people cutting line. Like, you got to do what you got to do at that point. And then we get up there, and, it's one metal detector for that. I want to say we were probably in 8,000 people trying to get through that gate at that time.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
With one metal detector.
Like you said, our line was 50 minutes, and it was started basically at home plate.
Yeah.
And we were coming in the right field.
And zigzagging.
And it was zigzagging. I mean, it looked like Disney World lines, right? I mean.
Yeah. And then you walk into the stadium, and, like, by the ramps and escalator, there's, like, 13 metal detectors just sitting, like, not being used. It's like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, it's like, I assume they had this, but, like, at least put them in storage or something. You didn't want to get them out. But
cover them. Don't let me see them.
Kidding. Right. Like, don't let me see all these things. So
I don't think it was a lack of metal detectors. I think it was a lack of workers. And I don't, again, 47,000 people you knew were showing up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if they thought they were coming in a different gate or I don't know. It was.
Yeah, it sounded like all the gates were this problem, though.
Yeah.
Like, we walked around a little bit, and it was all that way.
Yeah. But once we got in, crowd was pretty sparse.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and we made it in at 6:52. Yeah. So we were like, thank goodness. And I know there's a lot of people that got there around the same time as us, did not have that luck. So we got very lucky, like, from that standpoint, because.
Well, yeah. First of all, we decided to jump a turnstile or two.
Yeah.
Jump a fence or two. Caden got anxious and started going fullback mode and said, follow me, and he was pushing through the crowd.
And no one was pushing him out of the way.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, Caden was determined, and he got across the goal line.
Yeah, we did.
So good lead blocking by
Shout out Caden,
yeah. Normally, I'm the guy that take the lead block role, but Caden took it on. He grabbed his mom's hand, and he just started going, and, of course, he's a kid. People are pushing him back, and the rest of us just kind of follow. So,
he heard someone say, hug the fencing, and he was just
he took it.
And he had my hand, and he was pulling me along, and people just got out of our way.
So
that kid, I don't know where he's going, but he does.
No kidding.
So yeah, we got in, and then from there it was pretty straightforward to our seats.
Oh yeah, great seats.
Yeah, we were in section 203 in the bleachers.
Yep. And I know you took a risk on those seats, but I just want to say, you did a fantastic job. Yeah. Like, it's hard to we're going to a football game at a baseball stadium.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of risk. You know what I mean? Like, on these seats. Like, you don't know. We think we got something. Like,
yeah, the only thing I knew was section 202 was supposed to be the band.
Yeah.
And so I knew 203 was bleachers. We would be not in seats, but in bleachers.
Yeah.
Which was a trade-off.
Right.
But I knew we'd be closer to the field because if you were in the other sections, you were farther away from the field. I knew we didn't want to be low, especially on the sideline.
Yeah.
Because now you're way far away from the field, and you've got the team blocking your view.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just that one corner of the end zone on our side was a little blocked and obstructed in our view, but that was it.
But not much of it.
Not much of it. No. If there would have been a play, somebody tapping their toes going out of bounds.
Yeah, you might not have saw it. Besides that, we had everything.
But there was no play of that kind that we had to worry about. That.
Nope. Like, we could see Faison get in the end zone on that first one easily.
Yeah.
Like, and that was it right by our section. So, it would have been that back corner, but we were good.
Yeah, so I mean, it was seats worked out great, and then I think we got to give a shout out to the concessions, and and this goes back to the fact that I think that they were underprepared.
Oh yeah,
like underwhelmed, underplanned.
Yeah,
because we got in there, and I think we got some drinks, and we're sitting in our seats, and everything was good, and then I don't know, at some point we decided to get something to eat.
Yeah,
I don't know what, second quarter maybe.
Maybe the third. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. Second, third, I don't remember.
It seemed like it was before halftime.
Maybe it was, yeah.
And I just know there was people beside us that had these chicken tenders, and those looked really good.
Yeah.
And then your mom's like, "Oh, they got this value meal bucket of chicken tender thing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll get that." So who wants chicken tenders? Everybody's like, "Sure, we'll have some chicken tenders." So it's $24.99.
Yeah.
And it was like
a movie theater popcorn bucket.
It was a plastic bucket, like a 1 gallon, 2 gallon ice cream bucket. 2 gallon ice cream bucket, maybe. It was a big bucket. Maybe a gallon and a half. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was filled with fries in the bottom third and then chicken tenders on top for $25. And I could not believe it was that much food for that little money.
Oh, yeah. New York. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Yankee Stadium.
Okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I expected $100 for this thing.
No kid.
And because they were underprepared,
they
were cooking everything fresh.
Yeah.
And the one lady working the register, and I don't know, there was 2 registers open.
Yeah.
At the concession stand closest to our section of the bleachers.
Yep.
And there was like 3 guys in the kitchen in that area. It was like
they were working security earlier in the night, I was told.
They might have been. But she's like, "Oh, this has been really popular. We've had sold a lot of these." I'm like, "Well, okay." And yeah, so like they cooked up the food fresh, and like concession stand food is usually good if it's fresh.
Yeah.
It's usually not good because they cook ahead and they have to sit there a little
They got to prepare it so they're not long lines. And
I didn't have to wait that long. It wasn't that long I had to wait, but like it was fresh out of the fryer into the bucket. And so, I mean, we had a solid concession stand dinner for like $25. I think I spent more on drinks than I did on the food.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And those chicken tenders were hot, but they were darn good.
Yeah. And that bucket, I guess that must have been a good idea because that bucket kept those fries warm, and the fries were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was, if you make it to Yankee Stadium, the value bucket of chicken is, and fries, I highly recommend.
Yeah, and we weren't like starving by any means. Like it wasn't like one of those situations where we're all just so hungry. Like, oh yeah, I'll take it. Like I had chicken and a half, I think is all I have. Like I wasn't starving by any means for fries. But then I did later see a kid with the I think it was the French fries, eating them, and then had the straw going through it. And I was like, that's pretty sweet too. Like what was those cups called? But yeah, it was like, I forgot what they were called back.
Yeah, the snack. Snackster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snacky.
Yes. It's something like that. But yeah, where he's drinking it and eat, like same thing. I was like, that's awesome. Good for that kid. He's living his best life.
That's right. And it wasn't even Caden.
No.
It was some other kid. So.
Yeah.
Well, you had earlier asked if you could have a lid for Maddie's drink, and they were like, nope, no lid.
Yeah, they're like, no lid because you can cup it and then throw it. I was like, okay. I was like,
you don't know what goes on in New York.
Yeah, you had to order fries with it to get a lid on your drink.
Yeah, no kidding. So I would have earlier, but especially how good those fries were. But
yeah, but so I mean, I thought concession stands. Concession stands hit. That was pretty good. That was a win for Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
After the game, we had a ride share set up.
Oh.
We didn't do so well after the game of the ride share.
No.
I
triple canceled.
Yeah, they triple canceled on us. So that got canceled because I think where we were asked to be picked up at was the street was blocked off by the NYPD.
Yeah.
So that probably played part of it. The other part of it is what I had reserved the ride for.
Yeah.
And what the going price was at the time had changed by like $50. So, okay. So we talked to somebody at the gate inside the stadium and said, hey, what do you think? They said, hey, go down this street, walk a few blocks, you get away from the traffic.
Yeah.
And so we started to do that.
And this is what, 11 o'clock?
10:45.
10:45.
Yeah. A few minutes before 11.
So then we hit another rideshare service, tried to get that to work, and
a few minutes away. Then they canceled. Then we tried a third time, and they canceled.
And the subway was right there, but it
was packed. And I'm glad we didn't because I saw a lot of bad things about it after the game, saying like it was ridiculous. Like people took hour getting out of there off the subway, which is not usual.
So anyway, then we called an audible. We saw a cab.
Yeah.
And it was a small SUV. It wasn't big enough for 5.
No.
I walk up to the guy and I'm like, hey, can you fit 5? And I'm thinking he'll tell me no.
Yeah.
And I'll ask him, hey, could you call another cab?
Yeah.
And see what happens. And he's like, the kid could get in the back. And so he pops open the rear end, and instead of Caden getting in, Carter hopped.
No, he did not pop open. We opened up the back door, and I just climbed through the seat.
Oh, you climbed over the top. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So he thought Caden was going to get back there, which I don't want to give the cabbie's name, number, or anything else, because riding 5 in a cab is strictly illegal in New York.
Yeah.
Like we were not legal at all.
We were all exhausted though. We had 3 Ubers canceled. I was just like, I'll get in the back. Caden was exhausted. He was tired from walking. We walked a decent amount there.
And I negotiated the price with the guy, like a flat fee. I don't know if I paid more than I would have otherwise, but it was as cheap as
it was there right then and there. Too.
It was cheap as the rideshare service was. Like, let's roll.
Yep.
And he was a nice guy. I mean, we had good conversation. I had to sit up front. Had good conversation. We talked about the city.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny. He's like, great city, but I wouldn't want to live here. At least that's what I said 35 years ago when I moved here. So, but he was a cool guy.
Yeah.
But he got us to our hotel, and of course, we get to the hotel,
yeah.
and like the bellhop guys coming outside, going to open up doors or whatever and help us out because the cap's pulling up. And we pop open the back and you hop out and he's like, oh, I didn't know anybody was back there.
Yeah.
Of course, he's trying to play it all off because the last thing he probably wants is someone calling and reporting his cab for riding dirty. So, he was cool. He got us where we needed to go, got us back to our hotel.
We were very, very thankful.
Yeah. And not too long. He was pretty efficient. He drove.
Oh, yeah.
He drove the most efficient route from what I could tell.
Yeah.
There was a lot of traffic, but he got us there in a short amount of time.
Definitely.
So, matter of fact, he got us from Yankee Stadium to Manhattan faster than we got from
Times Square.
Yeah.
And actually, he was as fast as us getting to Rockefeller Center from the hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, he went twice as far in half the time. So.
Yeah, he was on it.
But yeah, he hit it. So that was good. I thought travel-wise was pretty solid. Got back to the hotel, had some cheesecake.
Yep.
And got to bed.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a long day. We're all tired.
Yes.
Definitely.
Got up early, hit breakfast at, breakfast didn't start till 7. So Christy and Kate and I walked over to Battery Park and saw the Statue of Liberty, which was cool.
Yep.
And then we got back and did breakfast at the hotel, which was just, all right, breakfast, nothing special. And then walked over to the 9/11 Memorial.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I knew the museum didn't open up till 9.
Yeah.
I did not realize that the memorial itself didn't open up till 9.
Right. It was roped off. And
it was roped off. So it was kind of like, we misjudged that.
Yeah.
But
a good alternative, though.
But yeah, there was a little park called Liberty Park, which was kind of like up some stairs, and it was between our hotel and the memorial. And so
nothing was blocking it. A couple of trees.
Yeah, there were some trees, but they didn't have any leaves on them. So we got to walk up, and basically from across the street, we could kind of look down on the memorial. And I mean, that was, we weren't up close. And I've heard everybody say it's something about it that you get up close and it speaks to you. And I mean, it did. I mean, I don't know. I know for Christy and me, it's probably a little different, but a lot of memories about that day and, the things you saw on TV and, emotions we felt and just, So a lot of that was, it made it real. So I thought it was a nicely done memorial. It was nice to see they were cleaning it that morning and it was taking good care of it. It wasn't just some city park that was, like the city was there and that was closed for cleaning. So,
right.
But yeah. And there were some statues there in that Liberty Park where like the ones that was called the Sphere that had gotten damaged during the 9/11 event. So it was very cool. I'm glad we didn't do it too early. I would have liked to have gone a little more time than what we did. But I think it would have probably brought me down on Saturday to see that early in the day. So seeing it on Sunday before we left.
Yep.
Give me a chance to reflect a little bit and think about it. And so anyway, that was good.
Yeah, definitely happy with everything we did in New York. I mean, 9/11 Memorial was definitely, like just a lot of emotions and stuff, but very cool. Glad we did it. Yeah. I mean, obviously someone that was born in 2001, like wasn't there and didn't experience, like I was alive during it theoretically, but like didn't experience all that stuff. But growing up and like every year you talk about it in school, like on 9/11, you talk about it and it just, crazy, like actually see that and just be like, hey man, New York's building, just like those things aren't small.
No.
And knowing
that was the 2 tallest buildings in New York that had come down that day. And so, so that was, I think that was very cool. And it was a nice way to end a trip and
definitely
and see New York. And then, from there we caught a ride back to New Jersey.
Yep.
Went to Newark. Had no problems with our flight in Newark.
Nope.
Everything was smooth.
Been there before now.
Yeah.
No extra person got on the plane.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
Yep.
Nice, easy flight, hour and 20 back to Indianapolis.
Pretty empty flight, had some space.
Yeah. I mean, I think we spread out. We were multiple rows outside of our seats, but it was good flight back to Indy, no turbulence. And then, Indy airport's easy breezy in and out. So that made everything good. So I think overall, travel-wise, experience-wise, outside of getting in,
fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a great trip.
Even like the post-game ride
it sucked, but like
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And the weather was cool, but not
and I'm
freezing.
sure if we didn't have that like pregame thing, the ride share after, probably like, oh my gosh, that sucked more. But like after we went through that, it's kind of like whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, after we couldn't get in the stadium for 50 minutes.
Yeah. The ride share for 30 minutes, debacle, whatever it was, 25, 30, I don't know what it was actually, but
And the ride share was probably felt worse than what it was because I think we were all a little tired at that point.
Oh yeah, I mean
we had a full day.
Yeah,
we walked a lot.
And I know that Christy got up Saturday morning, was like, I'm trying really hard not to get sick, but I feel like a cold's coming on.
Yeah.
And I know Maddie's
battling.
Maddie was she was a trooper.
She's such a trooper.
I was impressed.
Yep.
She put some, not, you could tell she didn't feel as good as she'd like to.
Yeah.
She put that aside and she enjoyed the experience. And I think she really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, she definitely did.
So anyway, so that was good.
Yep.
And
yeah, that's part of the reason this podcast is coming out a little late. We were all exhausted. Still are, I think, recovering. Short work week, so we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Ready to get for this next trip, but we were definitely tired on Sunday when we got home.
Yeah, I mean, it was we got a lot in. It was a business trip.
Yep.
It was longer than the normal business trip. It wasn't in and out, but it was a little longer. So, but you know what? All you had to do was think about the game itself.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah. So anything else from the travel or experience side, Christy, that we need to hit here?
No, I think we covered it. It was a great weekend.
Yeah. So, and it was I think for the family it was just a great time together.
Oh yeah. I mean, couldn't it be like, obviously sometimes one of those things when you think about a trip for so long, like you overhype it in your head. But like that trip was literally everything I could have imagined. Like we saw everything we wanted to. It was a great time. Like we said, nothing really went wrong with like the trip part. We saw some traffic, but that was expected.
We didn't get mugged.
Yeah, we didn't get mugged. Like, you know what I mean? Like no big city bad stories besides like the crowd getting into the game. But
I have to say this. I was a little surprised that we didn't see a New York City rat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been told New York City smells.
Yeah.
And like I was never like, oh my gosh, this place stinks.
I didn't say a whole lot about New York City rats the first time your mom and I went.
Yeah.
And we were walking down 42nd Street going to our hotel, and it was evening.
Yeah.
And what Christy thought was a small dog.
Yeah.
come running down the street, and I'm like, that wasn't a dog. She's like, what? I'm like, that was a rat. She's like, oh my.
Yeah.
I don't think you slept well that night after I told you that was a rat. So she was a little worried, like the family was going to run into a rat on this trip, and everybody was going to freak out. I know that's why you primarily wanted to stay away from the subways, because you did not want to go to the subway and run the risk of seeing a rat. So
yeah. We saw a cat.
We did see a cat,
or was it a big rat? I'm just kidding.
No, it was definitely a cat. It was a stray cat there just outside Battery Park. It's like, hey, he's well fed though, so he was a survivor. He was a New York City cat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you get to the game, and man, how could you not feel good about the game?
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
it's one of those things we talked about last week up in the preview. It's like, this is one of those games that just feels like it's going to be close till the end. Like, we think Notre Dame's going to pull away late, but Army put up a fight. Like, no doubt about that. But Notre Dame, you could tell. Coach Freeman, I mean, if you saw any of his pregame, how do you think this game, we want to, violence is what we're going to do, right? We're going to come out, we're going to play. And you kind of see the videos coming out on social media. All the coaches, this one, Notre Dame's at a new level right now.
Did you see the Army hype video?
I think I saw
the Army guy standing by the tracks.
Oh yeah.
It was the most generic, cheesy, but
it wasn't
funny.
like the actual Army football. It was
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was like a West Point. It was at West Point's where it was shot at.
Oh yeah.
It was funny. But yeah, I mean, Freeman's setting a tone.
Yeah. He's not messing around.
And I mean, I think he started setting this tone at A&M.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about this at the A&M game. They come out this big environment, and he turns around to his guys, and he's saying something, and like, I think he's turned a corner in his coaching style somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the NIU black eye is the NIU black eye.
Yep.
That's not a loss. That's a loss and a half, unfortunately. Yeah. But he's been on this trajectory all year.
Yeah.
And it's gotten more amplified.
Yeah.
Post NIU. But yeah, I mean, he come out and it's like, let's be violent.
Yeah.
Let's play with violence.
And in my lifetime, I have not seen Notre Dame team play like this.
Yeah. It is the best defense I think I've seen since probably late 80s.
Yeah. I mean, we had a heck of a defense 2012, but like this team just, like, that's the only thing I compare it to, right? Like, because 2012, obviously we go that season undefeated. This is a year where it's like, this team would wipe that team, I think, just, you know what I mean? This team has gotten better every single week, and that 2012 team was not.
No.
They were rocky. They had their bad weeks. That NIU loss, it sucks to say this. That might have been the best thing that could have happened to us, though.
It could.
Like, looking back at this point, because this team every week since has gotten better and better and better. I know people are like, you haven't played anybody. No, we've played some good teams. We played a lot of bowl teams. We played some top 25 teams. This Army team was one of the best defenses in the country. If they played nobody, they're still a good defense against bad teams.
Yes.
They haven't let up a lot of points. They haven't let up a lot of rushing yards. And we just physically dominated them for 60 minutes.
Yeah. And Army had one drive early, which was aided by 3 or 4 Notre Dame penalties.
Yep.
And they had one drive late against backup.
Yeah, they scored like Virginia did with under a minute to go.
And I don't even know if I can say backups anymore because, I mean.
Yeah. Freshmen, though.
Yeah.
Freshman, sophomore.
Freshman, sophomores.
Yeah.
Junior Taliaka.
Yeah.
He played like that outside Viper in position.
Yeah.
Played phenomenal yesterday.
Yeah, Saturday.
And I got to thinking about it. It's like, wait a minute. Jordan Botelho was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah.
Traore was supposed to be the backup. He was supposed to be the third string guy. And he's been playing phenomenal and getting better.
Yeah.
So, and then you start looking at some of these young linebackers that are playing, like Kingston.
Yeah.
KVA got this knee sprain, and hopefully it's a minor knee sprain that's not more than a week or two.
Yeah, he's out this week.
He's out against USC, but you look at Jaden Osbury.
Yeah.
Played freaking lights out.
Yeah.
Drake Bowen played lights out. So what's more impressive about this team, especially on the defensive side, I mean, we've already talked about it. You're probably your best player on defense being Ben Morrison is out.
Yeah.
And losing Benjamin Morrison, Christian Gray has just gotten better.
Yeah.
We knew he was good, and he's just gotten better.
Yeah.
And you keep forgetting, good. Our third guy, Jaden Mickey, decided he wasn't going to play anymore.
Yeah.
And he's going to transfer.
Yeah.
Like, we're missing 2 of our top 3 guys.
Yeah.
But everybody else is just stepping up.
Yeah.
Defensively, it's just like, Al Golden, man.
Props to him. Get him back up the truck. Pay him whatever he wants.
Coach Mickens, what?
Pay him whatever he wants.
Dude, these guys are killing it.
Yeah.
These guys are killing it. So yeah, defensively, this is by far the best defense I think I've seen in 35 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 40. Lights out.
Just flying around.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Dominant, fun to watch.
And
it's discipline, assignment football at its finest.
And Army after the game was like, we haven't seen speed like that outside.
Yeah.
Like, they tried to get outside us a few times. It was like, oh man, they might get a few. And it's like, and then we tackled for like a 2-yard loss. It's like he had that much green space, and he got tackled for 2-yard loss. It's just like Bowen was flying the other day. All the linebackers just flying around. Corners were flying around.
They were playing fast, but they were playing discipline assignment football. Read, react. I mean, we
didn't miss that many tackles either.
No.
Like, in the beginning of the season, it was like, oh my gosh, can we freaking wrap up? It was like, no, this week it was like, there was like, I can't think of one off the top of my head where we didn't tackle someone on the first try.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple where maybe the first guy got there. Like, I think Christian Gray a couple times come down.
Yeah.
He didn't miss the tackle.
But someone else finished it.
Someone else had to finish it. But that was closest as it got.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times where, like, someone hit the fullback or hit the quarterback as he was pitching the ball.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was discipline assignment football all the way through. So defensively, just even though we got up 14 nothing, and then they scored that 7, and it didn't feel like they were coming.
Didn't feel like it was close. Still.
It was like, okay, we gave you some penalties, and offensively, we got to talk about the offense.
Can we talk about that Jeremiah Love first touchdown?
No, that was pretty sweet.
Jeremiah Love's first touchdown.
Get that dude the ball.
Yeah,
we'll keep saying, kidding. Get that ball, dude the ball. We had a great view on that one. If you're following us on socials, I mean, you can see we got a video of it. I'm thinking about posting that by itself, but it's in our travel day video.
Yeah, if you didn't see the game, I don't know what you're not. If you're listening to this podcast and you see the game, then good for you.
Yeah,
but I've seen guys hurdle people before.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone hurdle
clear that much.
That was a vertical. That was crazy high.
Yeah.
Like, Jeremiah Love was on a different level. I think I saw the stat was he played a total of 14 plays.
Yeah. He had 7 carries.
7 carries.
130 yards.
130 yards. He had 3 receptions.
Yeah.
I think for like 40 yards.
Yeah.
And he had 3 touchdowns. And he only played 14 plays.
So USC, if you're listening, he did that, and he's not tired.
Yeah.
He's well rested. He's not worn out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long day.
So anyway, he put on a show.
Oh my gosh. New York City light.
If he had volume and if he had twice as many carries as what he's getting with the same numbers of production, he's a Heisman front runner.
Yeah.
Like, and hard to be a Heisman winner as a running back.
As a sophomore.
But I got thinking about it. It's not unprecedented. There was a guy at Wisconsin, Dane. You probably don't remember him because you were really young. He was a big bruising back, Ron Dane, and he was in the Heisman talk.
Yeah.
But he never played the second half because he got so many yards and Wisconsin got so far ahead that he basically didn't play the second half of the game. Kind of a Josh Adams type situation, like a big back that just had like a lot of yards. But Josh Adams was an every down back, and we didn't have a staple when Josh Adams was at Notre Dame. So 33 Trucking, he started off hot, and then by the 3/4 of the way through the season, he was I think he was getting gassed. He just didn't have much left in the tank because he had to carry so much of the load. Where Love, I mean, he's got 3-4 other guys behind him, and he's getting his carries.
I was say, what do we have? 5 rushing touchdowns on Saturday.
And so he had the hurdle on the pass.
Yeah,
he had a couple of great runs. His last touchdown, that third one where he went
second half,
65 yards to start the second half.
Yeah,
just showed all kinds of speed.
Yeah.
So that was super impressive. But then you look at Price.
Yeah.
And that touchdown run where he just refused to be tackled.
Yeah.
Shot to the outside.
Showed all of his skills in one 20-yard play.
Like, he just missed a jump, and he'd had everything else.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about jumping.
Yeah.
Riley Leonard, don't.
I was going to say, Navy, I don't know what their defensive game plan was besides Riley Leonard's not getting in this end zone. Because every time he had the ball in his hands, they were a different breed of defense. They were like, we're going to crush this guy. We are not letting this guy get in the end zone. And again, Riley Leonard, you're a quarterback right now, buddy. Like, we are 2 weeks away, or now we have one game in the college football playoff.
Yeah. But
don't go diving over the end zone. We're up 21 points.
But he started off hot. What was he, 8 for 8 to start the game?
No, like, he played well. Besides, he just couldn't get in the end zone.
But his running, he's not a goal line runner. Like, if you're gonna try and quarterback sneak Riley Leonard, I wish you'd go out of shotgun, you'd put him under center and let him just have that push.
Yeah.
But if you get him back 4 or 5 yards in shotgun, he's got to run up. Like, his big runs have not come in that situation.
He's been 15 to 20 out.
Yeah.
It's like his sweet spot.
And what do we do? Like 4 plays in a row, tight ends in. Like, if they'd have spread the field out.
You got your 4 horseman formation there. You got the box.
I did get the box formation. It wasn't quite what I wanted.
Right, but
it was done with Evan.
We haven't seen that this year, and it was
definitely the box 2 times.
Yeah.
So kudos to Denbrock.
Yeah.
I think he's listening to this podcast.
Yeah, that's got to be what it is.
So I got some other advice for him if he needs it. But you had to. You had to have a nod to the 4 horsemen somewhere in that game.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Price, Williams, Leonard, and Love in that formation, and I'd like to see a little more of it.
And not right in front of the goal line.
Just because I would want to put that on film just to make USC have to just prepare for something else. Make whoever we're going to play in the playoff just prepare for something else. Like, what if Notre Dame truly does run this box play?
Yeah.
And I don't think we ran the box formation.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ran a great box play.
No.
It was like, okay, you ran the formation, but
didn't
run it well. But I'm happy to see it. I was hoping to see it because 100th anniversary of the 4 horsemen.
Yep.
You got to pull it out. So yeah, I mean, Leonard, I think, played a great game passing.
Mm-hmm.
The ball got distributed. Bo Collins did a much better job. KK did really well.
Not as many. Faison did really well.
Faison.
Not a lot of drop passes this week.
Yeah, much better. Much better all the way around in the passing game. It was nice to see.
Yeah. And one of the best parts I think about this week is James Randell, our punter, had no bad punts.
Absolutely not.
And he didn't even get on the field.
Yeah.
No punts this week for the Irish, which is just anytime you can go a whole game without punts. And the better part is no punts, no turnovers for the Irish.
Yeah. Clean game in that respect. We played very well.
Because you knew Army wasn't going to turn the ball over. And that's how way they'd stick into it. If we were turning it over, they weren't. They turned the ball over one time late. But yeah, I mean, just great overall offense performance. I mean, like we've been pounding all year. And the offenses came along. But like we said, this defense is one of the best defenses in the country. Maybe one of the best defenses Notre Dame's had in a long time.
Yeah.
This offense just has to not screw it up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't turn the ball over. They can't put the defense inside the 20. If they just play sound football, don't turn the ball over, go score, like, defense is going to put them in good spots.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So that was exciting. I think, like, it was a complete game with the exception of place kicking.
Yeah.
And I watched a little bit of the highlights. So the first place kick that we missed, because we were 0 for 2, 0 for 3. 0 for 2, right?
0 for 2, I think.
The first one was a 43-yarder. We got a penalty, pushed it back,
48,
made it 48. It might have been good from 43, and that gets into this whole. I know Marcus Freeman in the press game post conference talked about it's not a kicker thing. It's the whole execution, and I know we've hit on this a couple of times. It's a snap, it's a hold. I don't see anything from the snap or the hold that makes me think that there's a problem. I don't see like Salerno like struggling to get the ball caught and down like it's a bad snap. I mean, and he's struggling to get it down on time.
Or late, yeah.
I feel like just this injury for Jeter, like he's just not hitting like that 48. It felt like he was trying to push, like he was trying to hit his best shot, and not maybe as accurate because he knew he had to hit it long to hit it that far. But the second one on the block, if you go back and watch it, because at first I thought, did that guy jump over the gap between the guard and the center? And I think he was between the guard and the tackle. But like that might have been a timing issue on that one. On the second one, like the ball might have come back a little late on the snap or didn't come out quick. But he literally jumped over the guard before the guard got up. It's like, okay, that's fixable.
Yeah.
I know as a guard, you want to stay down, you want to stay low, you want to keep your base, you keep leverage because you're going to get bull rushed.
Yeah.
And if you get bull rushed and you stand up,
right,
you're just getting tipped over.
Yeah.
So
you're a leaning cow.
I mean, and they call it dying slowly in the offensive line world, right? You want to die
especially
slowly.
in the special teams.
You're going to get 2 or 3 guys hitting you. You just got to die slow.
Yeah.
You just got to be up there and just
absorb it as long as you can.
Yeah. But he stayed down.
Yeah. And
the guy went over the top of him. It's like, okay. And I think that's kind of how NIU got a block in.
Yeah.
I think it was almost the same thing NIU did. So there's definitely something that we can clean up there.
Now, my thing is, though, your last name's Jeter. You're in Yankee Stadium in November.
We
got to make some plays here.
Yeah.
We got a chance to hit a field goal right before the half. Clock's going down. We got to make something happen there. I mean, I understand he's been hurt, but just the Yankee heritage. We got Jeter in November in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, you'd have hoped he'd had a big day, you know.
Yeah, writing was on the wall.
But
I gotta say.
It's all right. So Yankee Stadium, cool game, cool atmosphere.
Yeah.
I am so glad we got an opportunity to go see that. It was better than I expected. And I thought it was going to be good. It was better than I expected.
Yep.
It was awesome.
And the team played well. I think end to end, can't ask for a better performance. Like I said, kicking game, it's a little of a concern for me, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Now, Den Brock, if you're listening, I did a little research. If you've ever seen a rugby player kick the extra point, it's a drop kick.
Yep.
James Randell's not being used in the punt game. Let's see what kind of drop kick he's got.
I mean,
anything outside of 30, if he can drop kick it, I think we should consider that.
Not a bad call.
If not,
give it a try.
If not, let's use those running backs we got. Let's get that box formation back out. Let's go for it. Yeah.
Let's go for it.
But there's one last thing we got to talk about in this game.
Yeah.
This was late in the game. Mm-hmm. There's a player I gotta just, if he's not on your radar, he needs to be soon.
Yeah.
Sean Sevillano.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like he got on our radar before he ever hit campus because I do what I tell other people not to do. I pay attention to recruiting.
Yeah.
And we were looking at his bio.
I think it was at the spring game.
And it was at the spring game.
Yeah.
And in his bio, he talks about like he went to Clearwater, this and that and the other. And he talks about he played Santa Claus in Elf the Musical.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you're a football player and you're getting that in your bio, you got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But first of all, he played defensive tackle late in the game.
Yeah.
He's got a motor.
Oh, dude was flying.
Dude's got a motor.
Like as big as he is.
300-pounder, and he's quick, and he just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But even more impressive, he had this like crop top jersey looking thing going with a long t-shirt, like hanging down almost.
That's not even the best part.
Almost to his knees, and that'll get your attention.
Yeah.
But then he's wearing the wide receiver shorts.
He's not even. He's not even wearing like thigh pads.
Like
the dude doesn't have thigh or knee pads. He just got the hip pads in, I think.
Yeah, I think the volleyball players wear like more protection on their shorts.
Oh my gosh, the dude was literally like above his. Yeah.
The pants didn't come down to the knees.
I need to go back on.
There was no thigh pads. There was no knee pads. He's just out there playing raw.
He's just there for a good time.
He thought Coach Freeman You took him serious when he said play with
violence. Yeah,
because he did.
He chased down that, or I don't remember if it was a quarterback or running back.
But he chased that dude down, and he let him know.
Probably daily. That dude took a beating all night.
Yeah, I mean, I get credit to the Army team, especially the quarterback, because they did take a beating. But they signed up to play 60 minutes, and they didn't quit.
They didn't. They were not rotating. Daly had 39 carries.
Yeah,
their quarterback, and they were just like, that dude. It's Monday night, and I bet he's still feeling like
he got hit every time.
Yeah, and even when he pitched it,
he got hit.
Yeah, I mean, that dude took an absolute beating. Yeah. And so it's like he got hit 45, 50 times that game, and like I said, they were big hits, every single one of them.
Yeah, I'm so rooting for those guys to go and like win their conference and beat Tulane.
Yeah,
like I just out of respect for Army, I want those guys to win. But yeah, Sean Sevillano. Get to know that name. He's coming. He's going to be a star.
He's coming for you.
Yeah. And I mean, it's there. That dude's got it. He's going to be fun to watch. Definitely. This whole defense is freaking fun.
Yep.
And when you think about, I don't even want to talk about next year. I want to enjoy next week.
Yep.
And I want to enjoy what hopefully is a 4-game postseason.
We got 5 more wins in us.
I'm hoping to see 5 more wins. And then we can talk about him and the rest of this defense and what we've got coming back.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to fall off much. No. If at all. It may get better.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought that had to get called out to Sean Sevillano. Had to call him out.
Yep.
So, anyway.
I mean, I don't think we got much more to say on that one.
No,
you got something, Mom?
I've got a question.
Oh, man.
What about the jersey?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it looked sweet.
I like the jersey, yeah.
I did, but you couldn't read.
The numbers were hard to read. They needed to be outlined in white.
Something. I mean, they look sweet, like in the stadium at the night. Like the lights were hitting it great. The numbers were shining. Yeah. Helmet was shining. I did like the blue-gray. I thought it looked good in the field. Yeah. I thought it looked all good together. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't read the numbers for crap. And I'm sure the announcers were having the same problem. I saw Twitter was saying the same thing. But I did think they were pretty sweet.
It looked really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, it's a good question. Good question. Thanks for bringing that one up for us.
Hey, and there was a lot of chaos outside of Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah.
Or out of Yankee Stadium. There were some losses outside.
Yep.
We've moved ourselves up at least one spot in the AP.
Yep.
Probably means we're going to move ourselves up one spot in the
College Football Playoff. We'll find that out tomorrow night.
It's looking more and more like take care of business next week.
Yep.
And we got a home playoff game coming.
Just keep winning.
Yeah, keep winning. So
USC is going to be a good game. Definitely looking forward to that pregame. I've been reading up on them, and it's like they're a good football team. The record doesn't show up, but they haven't lost by more than 7 points all year. So just a little preview for you. Don't expect this to be. It's rivalry week.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's going to be
expect
a game.
USC
is not a bad team. Yeah, so it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a great trip. It's going to have to try to top this last week, and that's going to be difficult.
We'll see I think USC can do it.
I think we can.
I think Southern Cal can bring it. We'll see.
Yep, we'll have a good time.
Different energy, different vibe, but I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, no coats this weekend.
Hey, no coats.
As of now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I ask another question?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
What about the contest?
No one won.
Oh.
Thanks for bringing that up for the people. No one won. We were close again this week. A lot of participants, over 30 participants, but no one won. We're going to go for one time again this weekend, and then we're going to get this thing out of here if no one wins it. But we're not going to worry about that right now because someone's going to win it this week.
Someone's going to win it.
Someone's going to win it this week.
We're going to let someone guess the USC score, and they're going to win the jersey, and we're going to get it to them.
Yeah.
If they don't,
we'll figure something out.
We got a plan.
Yeah.
We got a plan.
This jersey's getting out within the next...
Someone's going to win it.
2 weeks.
Okay.
But it's going to happen this week.
This week.
It's happening. You listeners, you got this. Do your research. Listen to the pod. Make sure you listen to our pod before you get those score predictions out because that's going to help you big time.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.